I'm giddy excited to say that I recently joined my local bake club. So let's make some Nutella Swirl Choc cookies. Starting off, creaming together both the sugars and the butter. We're using white sugar and brown sugar for this recipe. Every single month there's a different theme for the bake club, and this month's theme was nostalgia. So I thought, what's more nostalgic than my grandmother's chocolate chunk cookies? And I thought I'd level it up by adding in Nutella. My cousins and I, we would always race down to my grandmother's and she would give us entire jars of Nutella, and we could spread on as much as we wanted onto our toast, sometimes just eat it by the spoonful. So that's why I've combined the two for my fun contribution to this nostalgia theme. So I do have the full recipe linked below. Thought it would be a really fun idea to make these swirly kind of cookies. So I actually split the dry mix into half, and then I also split the wet mixture in half also. So we've got the wet and the dry split across 4 balls basically, and then we're on to the chocolate chunks. So I used both milk chocolate and dark chocolate for this recipe, and I think that really levels it up. You get different depth from having 2 different kinds of chockies. So yep, here I am breaking all of this up. I really had to restrain myself from eating this dark chocolate from Aldi because it's literally my favorite, but it's also 3 AM at this point. This one here is what I have deemed the dark mix, so I added in some cocoa powder. At this point I was thinking, you know what, I don't know if that's going to be dark enough. So then I got out my strainer, I don't know, colander, sifter. There we go. I got out the sifter because it was getting a little bit clumpy with the cocoa powder, and then I was like, you know what, it's not dark enough. I'm adding more. So I added in just a little bit more and whisked that through. Yep, this looks like a nice dark color, so we can have a really nice swirl. There we go. There's the color difference between the light mix and the dark mix. And then I had also split up the wet kind of ingredients that I had mixed together earlier and split that in half, and to 1/2 I was adding in the Nutella and getting out the electric whisk and mixing this all together. And then we have got both our dark mix of the wet ingredients and a dark mix of the dry ingredients. Then I'm adding in the chocolate chunks. Whoa, that was hard to say. No, can't say it again. It's better the first time. Adding in the chocolate chunks into the dark mix, and then we're adding that into the dark mix of the wet. At this point I have 2 bowls over to the side, and they are the light mix of the wet and the light mix of the dry ingredients. It's a lot easier if you look at the written recipe if you are to make this. I would highly recommend. We're making sure not to over mix this. We don't want to have tough cookies. We want them soft and a little bit chewy. So yeah, I'm making sure to mix but not over mix. I get to the point where I'm like, should I mix it just a little bit more? And then I stop. I stop at that point. And there we go. We've got the light mix that I'm adding in some chocolate chunks into that as well, and giving that a good mix. That one doesn't matter if you over mix it because it's just the powder, but then we're adding it to the light mix of the wet, and when we're combining them together then we shouldn't over mix. Oh, and at this point I realized I have a better bowl for this because this stainless steel one actually has silicone at the bottom of the bowl, so it doesn't move around as much, because it was 3 o'clock in the morning and glass on countertop didn't want to rouse anyone. So there we go, we are mixing that together, and same deal, don't want to over mix it, just mixing it in till it's just combined. And that is our light mix and our dark mix. So you can see the color difference. I was pretty happy at this point, thinking, yeah, we're going to get a really nice swirl. A cookie scoop has been life-changing for making cookies. Is that dramatic to say? It might be, but it's true. It just cuts down so much time, and it means that the cookies are going to be all the same size, which means they cook at the same size. Also, check out the swirl of, where was it? Was it this one? This one here. Check it out. Look at that swirl. Oh my goodness. At this point, I'm getting so excited, and I'm thinking I am going to buy a ticket. I'm definitely going to do it. Up until this point, I had been kind of sitting on the fence, not knowing if I should or not, getting a little bit nervous because I don't know anyone there, and the weather, oh my goodness, the weather was just bucketing down. We had severe weather warnings pinging off on my phone, and I thought, nope, I'm so excited about these cookies. They're looking so nice and swirly. That time lapse was so quick. I apologize. Yeah, that was real quick. Time lapse of them baking, and now they are out, and I'm swirling them to get them into a nice round shape. I always do this. I always do now. I never used to, and my grandmother never used to either. I feel like she would have absolutely loved this hack. She absolutely would have just done this every single time if she had known, like, this is how perfect they look. I let them settle on the pan for about 10 minutes because I didn't want the chocolate that I'm pressing in them now to melt. So make sure you cool down the cookies for like 10 minutes, and voila, look how amazing. I'm then transferring them to a rack. What's it called? A cooling rack. There we go. And yeah, because we don't want to have soggy cookie bottoms. Definitely not. And there we go. We've got a dark and a milk chocolate chunk, just to really accentuate the fact that these are chocolate chunk cookies. My mouth is literally watering. I'm sorry. Look at that cookie. Oh my goodness. My mouth is just filling up. It's just filling up with water. Look at that. So good. And there we go. There's the Nutella chocolate chunk swirl cookies. Double snap. I'm so happy with how these came out. When I went to Bake Club the very next day, they were gone within like 5 minutes. Everybody loved them. Everybody wanted the recipe. And I'm really, really happy with this random creation at 3 a.m. And yeah, I'm kind of getting nostalgic for these cookies now. I feel like my grandmother would be so proud and she would have loved these cookies. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed watching this random video of me making cookies at 3 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, if you did, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.